And welcome back to us doing stuff in places with things.
Or as I like to refer to it, Melissa took some time off from work for vacation time and ended up at the doctor with an ear infection.
Because that's how that always works. You take time off and you wind up at the doctor's. Anyway, so we are here to tell you about one of our favorite things in Korea when it's cool outside. Tea. What's so special about tea? I'm glad you asked. Korea has these things. They are fruit and extract teas, basically.
They also kind of look like, because I don't know if you guys can see it from there, but it kind of looks like a jar of jam because it's got the fruit in it still. So, in fact, I think some people actually do use it as a jam spread.
I think you can use it as kind of a spread. But due to the miracle of modern technology, and we have a thing over there that puts hot water out so we don't have to boil anything, we are going to make some tea. So, first off, we got, what is this?
That's the lemon honey.
This is lemon honey tea. For a full cup of tea, you need somewhere between 2 and 3, this is a teaspoon, right?
Sure. How about 2 and 3 spoons? Because this is just a regular, normal house spoon.
Right, regular spoon, not the big one. I've never really known the difference on that. Some of it's a bit chunky, so guesstimate. It sticks to the spoon, so you may need the hot water to get it off the spoon. I'm gonna start with 2 because we're using regular coffee mugs and not travel mugs.
Were you making 2 mugs of it?
Oh, I forgot. 4 cups for...
1 for each.
I can math.
Right, so lemon honey. So one of the things you have to remember when you're drinking this is you're gonna want to, as soon as you put it in, you're gonna want to mix it.
Yeah, it will settle if you let it sit for too long.
And by the way, the first time I had this, I literally was like, what do I do with all the junk at the bottom of the cup? Because I didn't know, and Chuck's like, you can eat it. And I'm like, oh, cool.
It's fruit.
It's fruit.
All right.
So you can taste test. Make sure I've mixed it well enough to your liking.
Okay, personally, I could stand for there to be a little more in there, but depending on how sweet you like your tea or how thin, this is still fairly sweet, and you get little chunks of floaty fruit in it, so. And it tastes exactly like what it says on the label, lemon and honey.
So just as a surprise here, we've had the lemon honey and we've had the citron one before. The ones I'm most excited about are Jeju Halabong Mandarin tea. And
which, by the way, if you've never been to Korea, Jeju is an island off the south coast, and they're relatively famous for the Halabong oranges.
And the omija tea. And omija, I believe, is schisandra berries. But yeah, that's lemon and honey. It's fabulous.
It's basically one of your 2 starters. Most people either start with citron or honey or lemon honey. All right, next one. Alrighty, so next up we are doing the Halabong Orange. This one is not quite as thick as the other one, so try not to make a mess.
Now last year, around this time, we were actually in Jeju, weren't we?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm
gonna do 3 because this looks a little
thinner.
Less concentrated.
So we had, while we were there, quite a bit of the oranges there, and
yeah, the Halabong Orange and the Mandarin oranges.
Kind of in love with those. In fact, I think I still have the number of the guys, so we're going to be ordering more of those.
Yeah, the season for those, by the way, is like December and January is when I think they're...
He said they're sweeter in December.
Yeah, so...
So I'm waiting until December, and then I'm going to call and order.
If you're in Korea and you see somebody selling Jeju oranges...
Get some.
December and January is the time you want to buy it.
All right, so we have not tried this one, so this is a virgin test.
That one's too thin.
Oh, you need more?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's a very thin one. It's very runny.
The omija is as well.
So it's obviously not concentrated.
So where
quite
this
as
one,
thick.
if I turn it this way, it slowly moves. This one, if I turn it this way, it's all running. So.
Okay. It's definitely orange flavored, but it's...
That's soothing. It's a good orange.
It's soothing, but it's not coating.
Okay, so it's not overly sweet. So difference being the lemon honey is very, it's got more, I think it probably has more sugar in it. This is, it's not coating. So this being a thicker one, it tends
more
to...
syrupy.
It tends to syrup a little bit. This one is thinner, but the flavor is on, I mean, it literally tastes like I'm drinking
It's got that strong,
orange.
that strong, deep orange flavor that Halabong oranges have. It just doesn't have any real
There's nothing to go with
like
it.
coating effect to it.
So probably if you were drinking just the lemon, it wouldn't have it, but that has honey in it, so you got the coating effect.
True, yeah.
But it also
Still
makes
good.
a difference on what type of syrup that they're using to.
Yeah, how thick it is.
Like I said, that one when you turn, it barely moves. This
It
one
looks
just-
more like a jam or a marmalade in comparison to a syrup.
I really like this though. Important thing to note: once you open one of these jars, they now must go in the fridge because you don't want them to go bad.
Yeah, when they're sealed, they're fine. You can keep them in a cabinet, but once you expose it to air and you get that process going, stuff starts going bad. Got to keep it in the fridge.
I'm a fan. I like this one.
It's not bad. I think I'd have to make it a little thicker though.
Maybe.
All right, so now we're on to the omija, or the Franken berry, or whatever it was she called it.
Chisandre.
That thing, yeah.
The Franken waffleberry.
The whatever berry.
So omija, I've actually had omija tea before when we were out with friends, and when I had it that time, it was actually a cold drink.
This isn't even a syrup, this is just a liquid.
But the cold drink that I had like almost like a Sprite or a cider base to it with the omija added to it.
Yeah.
That one I think is going to require a little bit more. You might just want to pour. Mostly because it is a straight solid base.
It's still thin, but at least it's thick enough to taste. So this one you're going to be wanting to measure in tablespoons. I think we're about up to 4 or 5 tablespoons of syrup in here so far. Okay, that tastes like omija.
And what does omija taste like, Chuck?
Franken berries.
So omija, I think Koreans like that a lot because they say it has a lot of health benefits too, if I remember correctly. I think that's what
I don't know about
our
that,
friend
but it
told us.
tastes good.
It's really good. It's very, it's not overly sweet, but it has a good fruity kind of taste to it that.
If I had to throw a description out, and it's vague at best, is fruit berry tea.
If I had to compare it to something, I would say it's more cherry.
I'd say it tastes kind of like a plum or a cherry with a almost like a raspberry hit to it.
Or maybe it tastes like chisandre berries.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's good.
It's really good. I like it. That one's going to be one I drink a lot of.
It is a really good tasting tea, and it does have I guess if you put enough of it in, it has a slight, like soothing coating action if you have a scratchy throat. It is good.
It is good.
Now on to what is basically everybody's default favorite, Citron. Now, if you don't know what a citron is, look it up. It's a bit...
If you
Google
don't
it.
know, look it up, because we're not going to tell you.
But the way I understand it is the citron is actually the origin fruit, or it's further up the family tree at least, from most citrus fruits. So your limes, your oranges, your mandarins are all like hybrids
Lemons.
based off of the citron. Or at least in relation to it, but further down the tree, if that makes any sense.
But if
Like
you
your
don't
second
know,
cousin 4 times removed.
just look it up, because we don't really know.
I am not Google.
And this is just what he's heard, I guess. Not that you've researched, right?
I've heard it from several sources, so either everybody's wrong together, or
Which happens.
which happens, or somebody knows what they're talking about.
Yes, also does happen.
So, you will generally find this in any Asian market that has a Korean section, or Korean mart, or maybe even a Japanese market, because it's very popular.
It's also very good.
This is another...
This is one
Thick
that
boy.
definitely soothes and coats as you drink it.
Yes. If you've got a scratchy throat, if you've got a light cough that's not the Rona, you got you're a little under the weather, get on the spoon. This will both be soothing and sweetening.
If you can get it on the spoon. Literally, guys, when he said we were going to do a video of something that was going to help my throat and make me feel better, I thought he was going to maybe make me eat Cheetos and drink whiskey.
I've done that.
He's done that.
By the
Also,
way, it's hilarious.
that doesn't help your throat. It burns. It's like napalm. So don't believe anyone that tells you otherwise. Why I trust him, I don't know. I should know better.
Tasty. So sweet, lightly citrusy, not a strong, acidic bite to it.
So out of the four, my favorite is always going to be the Citron. I think that's the first one that you ever gave me. Secondary, I'm either going to go between the tangerine or the Omija, but I'm just not sure which. I definitely like both. Suki, what's your vote? Because you're whining in the back. You clearly have an opinion. She just would like to try one of them.
So yeah, the Citron is obviously like the best all-rounder. It's a little bit tart, it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit coating. It hits all the bases.
They have others as well. There's a jujube one. I think we saw a ginger one.
Yeah, there's a ginger.
So they're definitely...
There's honey ginger, I've seen that too.
There are definitely more flavors and more variety.
There's plum tea. The plum teas are also good.
The meshel is really good, yes. Yeah. But this is what we chose.
Yeah. Out of this four, I'd actually have a tie for second. Because if I want something based on pure flavor, I'd probably go for the Omija. But if I want something more for like a scratchy throat or something, I'd go for the honey lemon next.
So
the Halamong Orange isn't bad, but I think like the Omija one, you'd have to put so much of it in the cup that...
I'm not overly concerned about that part at all. It's good.
True.
Literally, this is like warm oranges. And I know that sounds weird. So when we were in Jeju, we stopped at a place, it was on Udo Island, and we had some coffee there, and we had some ice cream, and one of them was like a Jeju Mandarin Halabong coffee.
Yeah, so the touristy thing that they do there is they will put Halabong Orange, Jeju Mandarin, or especially if you're near Udo Island, peanuts, because they grow peanuts there, in everything.
And to be fair, most of the orange stuff, like the orange ice cream with the orange was really, really good.
Yeah, the orange does really good in the ice cream. In a latte?
In a latte, it was bad because literally I was like, oh, it's like a latte. You know, like when I get a pistachio latte, it's just pistachio. It's not like coffee with it. But no, they put coffee in it. And then that weird peanut latte was, having peanuts just smack your teeth as you're drinking is just weird. It was strange.
It's an interesting... It didn't taste bad, but it was a very odd texture.
I did not care for the orange latte in Jeju.
Yeah.
But an orange tea, I would have been thrilled with.
Yeah, orange and coffee, not the greatest combination of flavors. But just warm oranges and like a tea or... Hell, even if they mixed it with like a milk tea or something would be...
Well, remember too that orange is usually what they put in with regular black tea a lot of time. Like a lot of teas that you're used to drinking have orange mixed into it.
Well,
so it's a good flavor enhancer with actual tea itself.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So if you're making tea and you want to give yourself a little extra flavor to it, adding that might not be a bad idea either.
Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. So, like, subscribe, do the internet stuff.
I'm going to go drink some tea.
We're going to drink some tea. See you later.